The summer transfer window was a pivotal one for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal after a heartbreaking end to the season, consequently finishing second, despite sitting at the pinnacle of the league for 248 days. However, I think it's fair to say the Gunners exceeded expectations, and although many critics suggest Arsenal badly bottled the league, in hindsight I'm sure the majority of Arsenal fans would have been happy with finishing second after failing to qualify for Champions League football last season, with their North London derby rivals snatching the final UCL spot on the final day of the season. Overall, Mikel Arteta has taken significant strides forward with excellent recruitment in recent seasons. The signings of Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester City in the summer both proved excellent additions, with both players becoming crucial figures for their team. Arsenal look to add more prominent players to their team, with the Gunners being heavily linked with West Ham talisman Declan Rice, Southampton's Romeo Lavia, Ajax's Julian Timber, and the out-of-the-blue suggestion of Chelsea's Kai Havertz, and it's the latter's surprise inclusion we're going to be delving further into in this video. I'm personally a big fan of Kai, and I thought he was going to have an immediate impact at Chelsea when they signed him from Bayer Leverkusen for 80 million. However, despite scoring a winning goal in the Champions League final clash against City, Havertz, for the most part, really hasn't hit the ground running. Before his move to Chelsea, Havertz played for Bundesliga side Bayer Leverkusen, graduating from their youth academy in 2016, the same year in which he enjoyed an excellent debut season, scoring 4 goals and registering 6 assists in 1,450 league minutes. Not bad at all for the then 17-year-old. Despite Leverkusen finishing the season in 12th, they ranked 7th for goal difference and 6th for goals scored, indicating that the German side were very much a free-flowing goal-scoring team. Looking back at their 2016-17 team as well, it's quite interesting too, and it's a testament to how good of a player Havertz is/was to break into that first team. They featured the likes of Chicharito, Leverkusen legends Karim Bellarabi and Stefan Kieblin, as well as featured young promising players such as Kevin Volland, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Julian Brandt and Leon Bailey. And with a team full of talented players, Havertz still became the quickest player in German top-flight history to make 50 and 100 league appearances, which in itself speaks volumes. Havertz's first big step towards superstardom came in the 2018-19 season, where he scored an impressive 17 league goals as Leverkusen finished in the top 4. Before his big move to Chelsea in the summer of 2020, the German was a very dynamic and special player in the Bundesliga that possessed a lot of unique qualities that not many players had at his age. His attacking output and chance creation was elite for a teenager, his defending from the front was outstanding and his ball retention and dual success rate was excellent. One of Havertz's best attributes is his off-the-ball movement. He clearly identifies pockets of space through multiple phases of play and zones on the pitch, whether it be helping play through an opposing press or manipulating space against a settled defensive shape. For Bayer Leverkusen, he primarily operated as an attacking midfielder, given the freedom to roam on the pitch. Sometimes his starting position was wider than a traditional number 10 when he played in a 3-4-3 variant, but when playing a 4-2-3-1, he was very much more central. A lot of attacking midfielders of the past and present do not boast world-class athletic qualities like Havertz does. He stands at 6'2" and has top technical qualities to go along with it. In the aforementioned 18-19 season, he even recorded the highest speed of any Bundesliga player. His time at Chelsea. I think it's fair to say his time at Chelsea just hasn't worked out, but I don't think it's all necessarily down to him not being a fantastic player. He's played under several managers who have each brought their own styles and tactics, thus him never really settling into one specific philosophy. For the most part, he's been primarily utilised as a lone 9, and I just don't think that's his best position. He's a player that needs to be played as more of a second striker, in and around the main focal point to best use his abilities. In his 154 Chelsea appearances, 139 in which he started, Havertz registered 47 goal contributions, 32 goals and 15 assists, which for a player that cost €80 million isn't too great. However, his 3 seasons at Chelsea has featured a few bright sparks for the German, although albeit few and far between. For a lot of his time, he has played in a very dysfunctional Chelsea side, especially this season. So with that being said, how can Havertz get back to this potential world-class player he was touted to be? This brings us on to his move to North London and how Mikel Arteta can get the most out of the German. His best moves comes from making vertical runs, using his electric speed and intelligent eye for space make him an absolute nightmare for opposing defensive lines. Havertz recognises when there is an opportunity to get into goal-scoring positions. Many Arsenal fans have compared his build to that of Robin van Persie's, and believe under Arteta he could develop further and become a more clinical striker. That will take a good year at least, but for now Havertz does offer an aerial presence in the box as well as great movement. He could either take the place or offer competition to current Arsenal striker Gabriel Jesus, and should perform much better than he did at Chelsea given the players around him. Havertz can also operate as a false 9, who can drop into midfield and allow the likes of Gabriel Martinelli to get forward more while overloading the midfield, especially if Arteta decides to go with just 3 central defenders next season. What seems to be more likely is Havertz playing as a second striker or advanced midfielder, and it would be the only way to get him and Gabriel Jesus in the same team. Gabby Jesus would maintain his role as a centre forward, while Havertz would be just behind him in that hole like Martin Ødegaard. Havertz and Ødegaard could even play together behind Jesus in a 3-2-2-3 formation, with the potential new signing of Declan Rice and Alexander Zinchenko in the pivot. In this role, Havertz could take up the role the departing Granit Xhaka had this past season, but be a little bit more advanced, interchanging with Gabriel Jesus, who likes to drop deep. The benefits of this is Ødegaard doesn't have all the creative burden, while allowing Jesus to have more freedom, known as a more physical presence in the box in Havertz. Additionally, Arsenal would have this like front 5 all capable of chipping in with at least 10 league goals. However, a 3-2-2-3 formation seems highly unlikely unless Arteta plans on being super experimental. However, Havertz can also play on the left or right and could serve as a solid backup for Martinelli and Bukayo Saka. Both players, especially Saka, were running to the ground last season, and having a solid deputy could ease the burden, especially with Champions League football returning to the Emirates Stadium next season. Of course, it is a lot of money for a backup winger, and Havertz isn't likely to come for that specific role. However, Arteta values versatility in his players, and Havertz is an extremely versatile player who can offer support on the wings too. ESPN reports that Arteta believes he could use Havertz as either a number 8, a number 10, a central striker, or an either wing. That would give the Arsenal boss notable options, especially as he is often stuck with the same attacking quartet of Martin Ødegaard, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli when they were all fit. Despite all the raised eyebrows and questions on how Kai fits into this Arsenal side, I do definitely think it's a great transfer for Mikel Arteta. Although there might not be one definitive role for Havertz at the minute, Arteta is very good at getting the best out of his players, and this is evident with Arsenal's performance last season. The signing of Aaron Ramsdale sparked a lot of questions and controversies. However, the Englishman went on to have a brilliant campaign. Arteta has also got the best out of his defenders, with Gabriel, Saliba and Ben White all having outstanding seasons. And this is not to mention the attacking quartet, like I mentioned just then, all enjoying arguably their best seasons of their career. Whether Havertz is deployed as an advanced 8, or deployed as covering the front 3 and putting my neck on the line by saying I think Arteta will get the best out of the German, and I'm very intrigued to see how he's incorporated into this very aesthetically pleasing Arsenal side. I'm not the type of creator that begs to like and subscribe every 3.5 minutes into the video, but I am getting to that point now where I am posting regular content like this a couple of times a week, whether that's 2 or 3 videos a week. That's what I try aim for, so if you do want to see more content like this, feel free to drop a subscription. With that being said, thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you have a nice day.